In this video, I'll tell you why it's actually important to stay in your comfort zone for miniature painting. I'm sure that you've heard kind of time and time again that it's a good thing to go outside of your comfort zone before. You've heard it as probably general life advice, I suspect. It's good to listen to new music, go to new places, meet new people, have experiences you've not had before. The idea is that you grow as a person, I guess. I don't know. I am generally a creature of habit, so I don't really go much outside of my comfort zone too often with life experiences and such. Here and there, but not too much. But when it comes to painting miniatures, then I also don't really go outside of my comfort zone too much either. My comfort zone in miniatures could best be described as mostly 28mm scale figures, mostly kind of normal people-sized and not too many big creatures at that scale. I'm not comfortable in smaller scales too much, like 15mm and whatnot, but yet 6mm scale mechs are okay because they're kind of about the same size as a 28mm scale person miniature, so it doesn't seem to throw me off too much, which is good. I generally prefer plastic or 3D printed resin. Poured resin is okay as long as the molds aren't too bad and the mold lines are kind of few and far between. I'm generally not into metal miniatures too much, I'm not going to lie. Then we get into my comfort zone for colors and paint types. I mostly seem to enjoy warm colors, reds, oranges, yellows, and browns, lots and lots of browns. Other than on most of the mechs that I guess I paint, you'll almost always find several shades of brown on my models. Even if it's just some pouches on a Space Marine or something like that, they'll still usually be there. Brown can be pouches and straps, it can be old cloth, it can be like leather armor, it can just be the general kind of dirt and grunge of battle. I love brown, and my brown colors are the paints that I reach for the most. Then there's the type of paints and the techniques that I like to use in my comfort zone. I'm a big fan of laying down a zenithal, like from white to black, or even sometimes ivory, which is basically just a warm version of white, to like a dark brown, right? And then using transparent paints like washes and speed paints over the top of that zenithal. You might know of it as slap chop, but it's a technique that I've been using for a long, long time. I was using it before there were even actual speed paints or contrast paints. Pachow. But it's always served me well. Since I love warm colors and painting with transparent colors over a zenithal, then I'm blessed to have access to the Army Painter line of speed paints and washes. There's so many warm colors to choose from in both of those lines, and I use them all pretty frequently. From pallid bone to bony matter to brownish decay and desolate brown to hardened leather to sand golem to dark wood and the many other browns that are in the speed paint range. And then there's like tons of different warm and brown tones in the washes line as well. I feel spoiled for choice in my comfort zone. And something new I've been doing for the last year or so, maybe a little bit more, it just kind of slid perfectly into my comfort zone. Marine juice, or as some call it, Sonic Tonic. It's a warm color unifying wash recipe that Sonic Sledgehammer came up with, over at his YouTube channel. Here's an example. Pachow. But he has several different types of recipes on different videos on his channel, and you'd be smart to check them out, honestly. You should probably also subscribe while you're over there as well. You usually just kind of slop it all over everything, kind of at the end after you've blocked in all your colors and done all that kind of stuff, and it just makes everything better. It's like liquid talent. Now, this is all great and all, right? But why should anyone care? I hear you yelling at your screen. First of all, kind of, simmer down, don't yell. It's annoying to the other people on the train or the bus or the airplane, And secondly, I know my comfort zone because I've paid attention to it. It takes a bit of active attention to the models that you've painted over the time that you've been painting, whether it's been like months or years, doesn't matter. But looking at a large group of your models can help you figure out where your comfort zone is, and also your style as a painter. As it turns out, comfort zone and artist style are basically the same thing. You've probably heard about an artist's style before. It usually refers to the kind of unique way that they express themselves through their art, including their consistent choices in techniques, like materials, and kind of just overall visual presentation, which helps distinguish their work from other people's work. Artists frequently have a style that you can identify if you've seen a lot of their art in the past, and it's because they do a lot of the same stuff repeatedly. They're in their comfort zone. I've known Vince Venturella for a decent period of time, and I've been to his house and seen his miniature cases filled with 21 different painted armies worth of models, just in an astounding amount of work. And I feel that if I look at one of his models in the case at a big painting competition, like Capital Palette at the Nova Open, I can frequently pick it out of the group without knowing that it's his. I've known Sam Lenz even longer, and I can almost always pick out his entries in the Golden Demon and such, and it's because I'm familiar with his style, the way he paints most of the time, his comfort zone. Now, when you start painting, everything is outside of your comfort zone, right? You've just started and you don't have too many painted models under your belt, and you maybe haven't tried a bunch of different techniques or colors yet, so everything is new. It's probably uncomfortable to paint. In general, I mean, hopefully not physically, doesn't hurt your hand or whatever, but mentally, because you're learning with every single thing that you're doing, and learning can be a bit hard sometimes. And at this point, you shouldn't even be thinking about your artist's style at all, because you instead need to experiment and practice to find out what you like and what you don't. The truth is, you get better and better at painting by finding your comfort zone and practicing and honing that over time. It's like exercise, I've been told. Reps are more important than trying every different machine in the gym, each day that you go. If you sit at the machine for 30 seconds and do a rep or 3, there's a machine that does this at the gym, right? I'm assuming so. But if you just do that for less than 30 seconds and then move to the next one, you won't actually get anything done fitness-wise. However, if you use a machine and find out you like it for whatever reason, then it's better to focus on that one. And now here is where the gym analogy breaks down in our usage. At the gym, you don't want to skip leg day. If you only go in and use the machine, or maybe a few machines that you like, you're going to look weird eventually, right? All of a sudden, just your shoulders will be worked out, but everything else won't be. Or maybe just your neck. I don't know. In working out, it's healthier to be kind of well-rounded. But in miniature painting, you can totally skip leg day. Well, I mean, you should still paint the model's legs probably, right? But what I mean is that you can kind of keep practicing and doing reps of the things that you like in miniature painting. Maybe it's airbrush blends and warm colors, for example, right? And it won't make you unbalanced, it'll just build your style. I did these sanctifiers from the recent Kill Team Blood and Zeal box, Pachow, and they are completely within my comfort zone. Dynamic zenithal highlight kind of sourcing with my airbrush, and then mostly kind of warm color speed paints over things. And then, of course, I ended with some marine juice. I think they turned out as well as they did, and I was able to get them done very quickly because I needed to get them done for the video before I left for Adepticon, because I just slipped into my comfort zone and it was very easy and comfortable. I painted a Trench Pilgrim's Force for Trench Crusade recently so I could play the game, tabletop quality, and they are also very, very firmly in my comfort zone. Lots of browns and grunge and rust, quickly speed painted, and I'm very happy with them. Now, will they win any awards? Probably not, but I had a ton of fun painting them, and that's the important thing, because that's that comfort zone again. My favorite piece is, of course, the Anchorite Shrine, and I was so happy with how it turned out, I made a video to teach you the super simple rust process, Pachow. This could become part of your comfort zone as well. So am I saying that you should never try anything outside of your comfort zone? No. I think it's important once in a while to step outside of, your comfort zone because it helps to define where your comfort zone is. I recently painted this cool 3D printed robot, and it was quite smooth and curved and not too bumpy and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't think that my normal style would work well on it. But again, I needed it for a video. Pachow. Man, I'm full of pachows today. Anyway, I painted him like kind of a turquoisey blue and didn't go too much weathering on the model, which is normally what I don't do, right? I liked it and might try to do something like it again in the future. Now, that said, I also painted one up that was kind of a misprint, right? And that paint scheme sat firmly in my comfort zone. It turned out fine, and it was a super, super, super speedy paint job. Really got done quick. But when I put them side by side, the cool colors, not very grungy one is a bit more compelling to me than the browned, kind of rust grunge one. Maybe just because it's a new direction for me? I don't know. So maybe I might explore that new direction in the future, and then maybe I'll have something new to add to my comfort zone. We'll see. So have you discovered your comfort zone for miniature painting yet? Or, maybe you've been firmly in it while you're painting models, but you just haven't kind of taken the time to look closely and identify it yet. If you know your comfort zone, right, because you've been doing this for a while, what finally made you realize what it was? And, has your comfort zone evolved, or is it very static and you just keep kind of getting better at that thing that you do? Let us all know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, see if depressmentation of the like button is in your comfort zone. I hope it is. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this every single Friday. The button's right down there by the like button as well. And thanks for watching.